Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today we're going to do an entire workout with only a Fitball. So if you don't have a Fitball, um, there are some things you can do without one on this one, and I can explain what you can do, but this entire workout just uses one Fitball. So the very first one, we're going to do ball squats against the wall. So find an empty wall. Make sure you come into these workouts warmed up and ready to go. 5 to 10 minutes of cardio, getting all of your muscles warmed up, your major muscle groups kind of moving and shaking and ready to move. Okay, so if you don't have a ball, you can do wall squats where you just kind of sit on the wall, or you can do sit to stands. That's another one you can do here. But what I like about using the ball is it really forces you into a really great squat that doesn't require a lot of stabilization. So if you have knee pain, if you have hip pain, sometimes this is a really great way to do a squat, kind of easing into it. So I recommend too is if you're going to worry about your balance here, maybe do it next to like a railing or something sturdy here, or you could do it against a corner of a wall. So if I'm next to a wall on either side, I've got that stability, or like a kitchen chair or something. So what to know about a ball squat is you usually have your feet a little bit further forward than you would think. Like if I was just standing here, it would be here, but for me to squat, I would have to go down like this, and I don't want to put all that weight in my knees. So my feet are a little further forward. I'm leaning here. The ball is just kind of on my low back here. I'm just going to roll down, do a squat, come back up. So the weight is in my heels here. I'm trying to keep my knees in line with my ankles, so right over my ankles. Come down, and then the other beauty of doing your squats like this is you can go in a really small range of motion. So I could just go here and back up. I don't have to go very big, but what you want to think about when you come back up is squeezing your glutes. So use your glutes to pull you back up. Your quads are obviously contracting to straighten your knees, but you want to squeeze those glutes and come back up. So regardless of where you are in this range of motion, you could come way down here and then back up, depending on where you are with knee or hip pain. But if you're just doing a really small range of motion, that's still okay. You're still getting that quad contraction, and you're still getting that glute and hip involvement. All right, so I want you to do them nice and slowly. Really, sometimes if you put your hands on your glutes, it helps you envision where they are, and it helps with that glute recruitment. And really think about squeezing, using those glutes. All right. The other sometimes too is if people make sure your knees are not collapsing towards each other, so keep them aligned right over your ankle. All right, so ball squats to start. Next, we're going to do ball squeezes. So I want you to just pick up that ball, bring this up just a little, and we're going to squeeze it. So standing, holding it, so your arms are bent a little. You don't need to hold it way up here. That's going to get really tiring for your shoulders. Think about using your fingers. So squeezing that ball, and maybe alternate, just kind of go back and forth once or twice on your fingers. And then just the next one, just hold it, squeezing with all of your fingers. So this is not only so when you squeeze something like this, you're working your pecs, you're working your arm muscles, your elbows, all up and down these arms. You're using a lot of those flexors, and then you're also working your hands. So it's a really great way to work your fingers and your hands. So squeeze it, and then also you're controlling how hard you squeeze. So if it's hurting anywhere and you're squeezing too hard, don't squeeze as hard. So you can give it a good squeeze for about a count of 3 to 5, depending on how fast you're counting. One time, like I said, maybe just really focus on squeezing with all of your fingers at once. The next time, maybe focus on squeezing with the back of your hand. Regardless, Keep your shoulders down and back so that you're not squeezing like this. You know, you don't want to squeeze the death out of your ball. Good squeeze. Also, if you're standing up nice and tall and you're squeezing, your abs are also contracting. So really think about using your abs too to really just give that ball a good squeeze. Moving those fingers every other rep or so. Getting a good hand, arm, and chest and core workout there with those squeezes. Okay, so do it about 10 times. Next, we're going to do some abs on the ball. So remember, if you have any insecurity about sitting on a ball, if you don't have a ball, you can use a pillow for that one. You can just squeeze a pillow, or you can squeeze a playground ball, or anything will work for that one. This one you can do on the edge of a chair or edge of a bench, but I'm going to use a ball. We're going to do abs, which we've done before. So you want to I'm sitting up on the ball here. I want to come to the front of the ball just a little bit. And I always put my weight kind of in my heels like this. And then I'm going to have you lean back. You can always put your hands here for a little bit more stability. Have something near you that is stable. You could do it next to your bed. It's kind of a good place to do this, or next to your sofa or next to your coffee table, so that you've kind of got something right there to hang on to if you should lose your balance. So lean back, come up. If that feels okay, I'm going to have you put your hands across your chest, and we're going to change it up a little bit, actually. I want you to come side to side. So I'm going to face the camera so I can demonstrate that a little bit. My heels are forward, or my heels are on the ground, my toes are up. I'm going to come back straight and then up to one side. So I'm coming up and just kind of diagonally going side to side. 3. We're going to go 4. We're going to go 10 times on each side. 5. So we're using your obliques a little more here today. 6. And your obliques are your side abdominals. 7. They help with turning and stabilizing. 8. The other thing is, watch, I'm not coming all the way up each time. So I'm coming back and I'm leaning over to the side, but I still have a good contraction in my abs. I'm not sitting all the way up each time. 10 and 10. Okay, good. So by doing that, if you need to come all the way up and give your abs a little break, that's okay. But in order to get the most out of that exercise, don't come up all the way each time. You want to lean back and come up to about here, depending on which direction you're going, but you're not going to sit all the way up, unless, of course, you need a break and you need to give those abs a little breather. The other thing is, it can be really hard to breathe when you're doing core exercises, so really find a way to, like if you lean back and you breathe in, and then, or if that's too fast, you could breathe it in, and then, kind of find a rhythm for your breathing. Otherwise, it's really easy to start holding your breath, which makes the exercise even harder. Okay, good. So next we're going to do a balance exercise with the ball. Bring that up a little bit. I want you to stand. We're going to do big circles with the ball like this. So first, stand with your feet really close together and try this. So make a big, slow circle with the ball and see how your balance feels. If that feels okay on your balance, if you don't feel unsteady, let's do 1 foot forward. We'll just do a little bit of a staggered stance. So give it a good big circle again. If that one feels pretty good and you're still feeling really steady, let's move into a tandem stance. So 1 foot in front of the other. 1 more circle. Okay, if that one feels good, try standing on 1 foot. Make a big circle. So that was I want you to do 5, one direction. So depending on which way you ended up doing it, now I want you to switch your feet. If you're still in the middle, I just want you to switch the direction of the ball. But if you have put one foot in front, put the other foot in front. If you decided you're going to stand on one foot, switch feet. And now we're going to switch and go the opposite way with the ball. Big circle, nice and slowly. Four and 5. Okay, good. So that's an arm workout too. You're probably feeling it. You know, it's making those arms and shoulders really work. Play with it. Decide, you know, start with a narrowed stance and then a little bit of a staggered, and then if that, you know, go through that to make sure you're sturdy and steady on your feet, but challenged a little bit. So I want you to challenge yourself. This is a balance exercise, so we're challenging your balance. And then the second time through, when you go through it again, see if you can try to do the ball the opposite way. So when we had our ball in our right foot, or when I was standing on my right foot, we were going this way. So see if you can just switch up the direction, which way you're going with the ball. So it'll challenge you in different ways. So play with it, and hopefully it'll be a little bit of fun for you. Okay. Next, we're going to lay down on top of the ball. We're going to do a hip extension. So walking out on the ball like this. So you're laying your hips on the ball. I'm going to support myself with my hands here. I want my hands and my feet both touching the floor. Now, if you don't have a ball for this one, you can do it on your hands and knees, and just lift one leg at a time. Okay, so we're going to lift both legs, doing a double hip extension. So what you're going to do is bring those legs up, hold them in a straight line with the rest of your body for a count of 3 to 5, depending on how quickly you're counting. So if you're counting really slowly, you can say 1, 2, 3, down. Or if you're counting a little faster, you know, just try to, you want to do it for 3 to 5 seconds, depending on how difficult this is for you. So if you can only bring them up and then slowly bring them down, that's okay too. So find where you can go with this. And if you can't come all the way up to straight, that's okay. If you're here and you get your feet up off the ground and you're here, you're still getting the same muscle contraction. So try, if you can, to get a straight line from your head to your heels. I don't have a ton of weight on my hands here, but I'm just using them for balance. The other thing is my feet are together. I'm actually kind of I'm holding my feet together, which is going to get a little bit of hip adduction as well. Those muscles in between on the insides of your legs, your adductors, are going to also be challenged here as well. So we're really getting a good glute contraction. Keep breathing. And then also, if this is way too challenging on the ball, you can be on your hands and knees and do one leg at a time. So I'll demonstrate that really quick before. You can just be here, put one leg out, lift up. Just like that. So it's the same motion, it's just one leg at a time if the ball is just way too much for that. Okay, now, similarly, we're going to do a back extension on the ball. I don't know how exactly you can do this without a ball. You can actually do it just on the floor. I'll demonstrate that really quickly. Just by lifting up just a little, but I don't actually want you to go past neutral on this one. So using the ball is actually safer for your back. So let me show you. We're going to be in the same position, and I want you, you're going to be back just a little, so the more of the weight is in your toes back there. Now we're rolling over the ball here, so I'm not in a straight position. When I was here before, I had to lift my legs up to be straight. Now I want to lift up my shoulders, lift up my torso to come up straight. So I don't want to be here. I'm not going into back extension. I don't want to do any of that. That can be painful for bad backs and discs and things. All I want to come up to is neutral, or maybe just below neutral. So if I'm here and I come up to here, I'm not even to neutral, but I'm still working those back extensors. I'm working the spine muscles. I'm working these big muscles in your back, your lats, and your glutes are also engaging here. So just a small range of motion. This isn't a big one. I don't want you to go into extension here. Small range of motion. You're just kind of picking your chest up off the ball a little bit and then going back down. So nice and slow. If you can't hold it at the top, that's okay. You can just kind of go slowly back and forth. But try to do 10 or start with 5 and just kind of see how that feels. If you do have a lot of back pain, don't do it. You can skip that one, but it's a good extensor posterior chain exercise there. Okay, 2 more. We're gonna just sit on the ball and do some hip circles. So this is just kind of a loosening, not really an exercise, but just a good kind of, you want to sit in a good posture and just kind of do some hip circles. We've done this in the past. We've done it with other groups of exercises, but I think it feels really good to just kind of loosen up that pelvis and loosen up your hips, especially if you've been sitting in a chair a lot. It feels good to just move around and kind of open things up. So do about 5 one direction, then we'll go the other direction. Nice and tall, pull those shoulders back. This should be a relaxing sort of feeling, just releasing your hips, opening things up. And then you can also go kind of forward and back. You can kind of do a pelvic tilt and, you know, kind of arch your back. And that's good for range of motion. And then you can go side to side. So do what feels good here. If you have trouble with one of those range of motions, you can message me and we can, you know, work on some exercises to help you with that. But this is just a good, you know, sit, relax, relax. This will also kind of loosen up your lower back a little bit and should feel good. You can do this anytime, anywhere. You know, sit on your ball and watch TV at night and just kind of do this. You know, not for a super long time, but it just feels good to move around and get some range of motion. Okay, and the last one, we're going to stay right here. Do this with something sturdy next to you. You can do it next to the coffee table or, you know, even something like this where you can hang on. We're going to march on the ball. So, sitting on the ball nice and tall. And I want you to pick one foot up. Nice and easy, nice and slow to start. So I'm going to face the camera. You can put your hands on the ball too, and that can help with stability. Start small, you know, start here with just little pickups, little marches. And then if that feels okay, you can increase the range of motion, slow it down a little, see if you can do it without your hands. But always be near something in case you do start to lose your balance. I'd rather have you grab something sturdy than lose your balance on that ball. Always have safety in mind. So nice and slowly, whatever range of motion is working for you here. And then if this is easy for you, because there's all ranges, there's lots of ranges, you can put your hands up, which will change your gravity, and then touch your opposite knee. So we're kind of crossing sides here, going slowly, touching. So you're getting some hip flexor with the marches, but you're getting balance, you're getting core, and then when this foot is on the floor, you're getting some hamstring. So there's a lot of things going on here. And then we can increase the balance difficulty, of course. So start where you are, and then challenge your balance just a little, but make sure you're in a safe place to grab onto something if you are to lose your balance. Okay, so you can go through those a couple times, do some cardio in between to get your heart rate up and make it a really good workout. And then at the end, do some good stretches. You can even use the ball for some really great stretches. So maybe we'll do that another time. I'll do a big ball stretch workout. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time. Keep moving, everyone.